going on, guys? JSGC here, back again for another Manchester City video, where today we're going to be doing my preview of Manchester City's game against Brighton and Hove Albion in the Premier League, where to me this is the biggest game of the season so far for Manchester City, because Champions League football could well be very much on the line here for this game. So before I do crack on with this video, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, do subscribe to my channel. It is free to subscribe. Social media links there in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorship for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up on the video. Also, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, including your score and team prediction for this game. And finally, I want to say a big thank you to today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by Kitbag. Remember, guys, you can go and check out the Manchester City home shirt and away shirt, both of them available for less than £40. Links and details, they are in the description. Do go and check out Kitbag. They've got lots of other wonderful Manchester City stuff and other stuff as well, not just limited to Manchester City, that you can go and check out. Remember, anyone that does check out Kitbag using the link in the description does help to support the future content created here on my channel. So, match information for this game taking place at the City in the Community Etihad Stadium. It's going to be called that for one game only to mark the anniversary of the launch of City in the Community. Good touch that by Manchester City, and celebrating all the good work done by the club in the local community. This game taking place in the Premier League. It's match day number 29 on Saturday 15th of March 2025 with a 3 PM GMT kickoff time. It does mean the game being broadcast live in the UK isn't happening as it is in the blackout, but anyone heading to the Etihad Stadium for this game, do enjoy yourself. So our opponents, Brighton and Hove Albion, formed in 1901, led by manager Fabian Herzler, currently find themselves 7th in the Premier League, 46 points from 28 games with 12 wins, 10 draws and 6 losses so far this season. Find them just 1 point behind Manchester City in 5th place, the 3 points behind Chelsea in 4th place, and the 4 points clear of Fulham in 10th place. 7 points separating 4th to 10th, and the battle for Champions League football for next season, the heat is very much on. Now, this is a huge game for Manchester City because we are the home team and we've really got to make home advantage count here. We lost out in our last game away from home against Nottingham Forest, which has set this game up now for me as a must-win game. Draw or lose this game, we're very much in danger of missing out on Champions League football next season, and that's even with the more than likely scenario of Champions League football dropping from 4th place to 5th place in the Premier League. So it's still not guaranteed. It's very nearly there. I think one team needs to reach the semi-final of any European competition, whether that be the Europa Conference League, the Europa League or the Champions League. It's nearly confirmed, but still not a guarantee as of right now, so we've got to keep battling and looking up the table, looking at 3rd place, looking at 4th place, and making them our goals for the end of the season. But Brighton in tremendous form, unbeaten in the last 6 games, have won the last 6 games as well in all competitions. It includes wins against Chelsea at home twice in the FA Cup and in the league. They're beating Southampton away, Bournemouth at home, Newcastle away in the FA Cup, and beaten Fulham at home last weekend as well by 2-1 via a 98th minute winner from the spot from João Pedro. So they're in great form, and if this was away from home, I'll be honest, I think I'd be bricking this game. They've managed to pick up results in 9 of the last 11 games in all competitions, including the last time they came to Manchester, they beat Manchester United away from home as well. So they've already been to Manchester and taken 3 points off United, and they're going to be aiming to come to Manchester and take 3 points off Manchester City as well. And I very much mean this, that City have got to be at their absolute best if they are to beat Brighton in this game. Now, in terms of Brighton's dangers, they're all about their attack. Minter, Matoma, João Pedro, even Danny Welbeck could be featuring some very precise precision and a tremendous accuracy in that attack. And City, they're going to have to try and keep these players quiet. There isn't just 1 or 2. There's 3 or 4 players that we've got to try and keep quiet. And all these players are more than capable of hurting Manchester City's high line. So we could look very vulnerable in this game. So for me, we've got to try and attack Brighton, because if you cast your mind back to the game away from home that we played against Brighton, City managed the game well for 70, 75 minutes. But Brighton are a high-energy young side who are more than happy to be running for 90, 95, even 100 minutes. minutes. Manchester City, by the time it gets midway through the second half with our aging players, we look a bit tired, and that's where Brighton will look to try and capitalise. So City, if we can get on top, have really got to try and punish Brighton. I'm not just talking scoring a goal or two, I'm talking trying to put this game to bed by the time we get to the 70th minute. Think like the game against Newcastle that City had a few weeks back in the Premier League. Now, they've also got good options in midfield. Players like Belieber, who's recently been linked with a summer move to Manchester City. Got a decent defence as well, decent keeper, all-round solid team. Now, I do want to also speak about the one negative result that Brighton had was away from home against Nottingham Forest. They lost that game by 7-0. That happened because Forest managed their situational play very well. When the opportunities came, they put them away and they didn't stop, and that is what Manchester City need to do in this game. Now, Brighton, I'm expecting them to go with a 4-3-3 formation. In terms of the injury news, Lamptey, Veltman, Dunk, O'Reilly, I'm expecting them all to be back. Will any of them start? That's the question. They are missing some players, including Jason Steele, Kadioglu, Igor, and James Milner. So I reckon they'll go Verbruggen in goal, Veltman, Van Heck, Dunk, and Estupiñán as their back four. Could well be a question mark over Veltman. If he's not fit, then I reckon Tyreek Lamptey may well be starting. If he's not fit, then you could see Hinshelwood potentially starting. Hinshelwood could also go into midfield. I reckon it'll be Belieber, Ayari and Rutter as their three midfield, with Minter on one side, Matoma on the other, João Pedro starting up top. Remember, Danny Welbeck could be an option. They have gone with an attacking four before. I'm fairly sure they did that against United away from home, and I wouldn't rule that out in this game as well. Now, for Manchester City, formed in 1894, led by manager Pep Guardiola, currently find ourselves 5th in the Premier League, 2 points behind Chelsea in 4th. Chelsea away from home against Arsenal on Sunday, so we do have the chance to go into the top 4. We're 4 points behind Nottingham Forest in 3rd. Nottingham Forest away Ipswich Town at 3 p.m. on Saturday as well. So if things go well for Manchester City, we could be making some serious gains on Champions League football for this Premier League match day. Things go south and City could drop as low as 7th, and we could find ourselves 5 points behind 4th and 7 points behind 3rd. Manchester City could be relying on some favours coming in, including that from Brentford, who are away against AFC Bournemouth as well, which is kicking off at 5:30 p.m. GMT as well. So Manchester City got to be really careful, because Brighton beat us here, they also go over us as well in the table, and all of a sudden you've got 3 or 4 teams ahead of us. It becomes very difficult to be able to overtake them. You're relying on a lot of favours whilst also trying to pick up your form, and Man City's form just isn't very good. 11 wins in the last 29, lost 4 of our last 7 games in all competitions, including 2 losses against Real Madrid in the Champions League, a loss at home against Liverpool, and an away loss last weekend, 1-0 away at Nottingham Forest. So dire straits at times for Manchester City, but I do cling on to hope that we played a good game against Chelsea at home and beat them, played a really good game against Newcastle at home and managed to beat them, and we put in a pretty decent performance against Spurs away and managed to beat them as well. But City are, to say the least, very inconsistent, and if we do end up missing out on Champions League spots at the end of May, it will be because we've been just too inconsistent. What we need is a run of form like we normally have at this time of year. Now, City have dangers all over the pitch, but we do have some important players missing, including Rodri, out for the season, currently training alone, could return in time for the Club World Cup. Akanji and Stones, they're out for another month or so. Nathan Ake's had surgery on a broken foot, and he's expected to be out until at least May. Will we see Oscar, Bobb, James McAtee, Claudio Echeverri maybe make the squad for this game? We'll have to wait and see. Remember, City fresh from another week off. So the question is, what do we want from this season? Are we going with tired old legs, or are we going to try and freshen it up and go with some younger players and some high energy? And trust me, City really need some high energy in that team. So I'm going to pop my team prediction up now. I reckon we'll go Ederson in goal. The defence is the big question here. So I go back 3, Khusanov, Diaz and Josko, Gvardiol. The question is, who do we go on the right-hand side with? Will it be Mateus Nunes or will it be Rico Lewis? I have a feeling that we're going to give the nod to Rico Lewis instead, and alongside him in midfield, you'll have Nico, Gonzalez, Ilkay Gundogan and Omar Marmoush. Now, that's what I think Manchester City will go with. What would I prefer Manchester City to go with is a different story altogether. I don't want to see Foden in the team because his form isn't good enough for him to be starting. I don't want to see Bernardo Silva for the same reason. Who do you go with? Do you go Kovacic? Do you go Gundogan into central midfield? Do you try and shake it up? I'd be almost tempted to be chucking in either Etihad or James McAtee into midfield and try and shake things up. One thing I do want to see, though, is us going with the second striker. So I go Omar Marmoush to try and take some restraint off Erling Haaland, and also it gives Marmoush a potential bit of space as well to try and deal with a tough Brighton defence. I go with pace out wide, so it does mean obviously Foden missing out, but also means Grealish missing out as well. I go Savinho on one side and Jeremy Doku on the other. Would I be going with Mateus Nunes? That's one of the big selection headaches that I have ahead of this game, but that's what I think City will go with. I'd like to see McAtee and or Etihad to be getting some minutes, maybe even starting this game, just to try and shake things up, because our performance against Forest in the last game, it wasn't good enough, and some of the players that are getting minutes, to me, don't deserve minutes, and there's players out there who aren't being given their opportunity, who do deserve minutes, who aren't getting them minutes. So we'll see. Very interesting team selection to come from Manchester City. One of the more interesting ones for the season. Now, in terms of my score prediction, I think City are going to turn up. I do. I've got a feeling that this is going to be similar to the Chelsea game, similar to the Newcastle game, and I can see Manchester City going out, scoring 2 or 3 goals in the first half. So I'm going Haaland to score a goal. I can see Omar Marmoush going out and scoring a couple of goals as well. So I think City will score 3 in that first half. I can see Brighton getting a goal back in the second half through Pedro, but Manchester City having a little more youthfulness look about their team, managing to make the difference. The big question is, every time City, when they make the substitution, 70, 75 minutes in, it just disrupts the momentum, disrupts the team, and the team just don't look half as good as what they did before they've made them substitutions. So what is going to happen? We're playing once a week, so we don't have to rotate. We don't have to worry about playing every 3 to 4 days. So we'll see. City have got to manage this game and manage this game very well. Now, in terms of my betting tips, I do fancy both teams to score. I fancy if Haaland and Marmoush both start in this game, I fancy Marmoush grabbing goals. So I'm going Marmoush to score or assist anytime, and Erling Haaland to score anytime as well. Both teams to score. Manchester City to win would be my bet builder. Now, next up is the international break. So 2 weeks off before our next game, but Manchester City will be taking on AFC Bournemouth away in the FA Cup quarter-final on Sunday, March 30th. In our next Premier League game, we'll be taking on Leicester City at home on Wednesday, 2nd of April. For Brighton, they're also in FA Cup quarter-final action. They're going to be taking on Nottingham Forest at home on Saturday, March 29th after the international break. Their next Premier League game, another big one for them, Aston Villa at home on April 2nd. So massive games coming for them, massive games coming for Manchester City. The question marks is, City and Brighton want European football next season. Will it be Champions League football? Well, a lot comes down to this game. Now, last note, I will be back with another live watch along for you guys to enjoy. I'll have the link out to that later on today for you to go and set your reminders for. I'll be live at 2:30 p.m. GMT tomorrow on Saturday for you guys to enjoy. So I will see you then. So that's been today's video. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy this video, please do leave a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments below, including your score and team prediction for this game. Subscribe if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell and put your push notifications on. It is free to subscribe. Social media links, they're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. And finally, do go and check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by Kitbag. Remember, you can go and check out the Manchester City home shirt and away shirt for this season, both available for less than £40. Links and details, they're in the description, and a big thank you to Kitbag for sponsoring this video, and I'll see you all again real soon for the next video, which will be my live stream of this game. So I'll see you then. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.